They say the crown never forgets, and right now it's like Buckingham Palace is flipping through memories like a revenge scrapbook. Every insult, every Oprah moment, every Netflix confession Harry and Meghan ever dropped is suddenly resurfacing like the universe pressing rewind. This isn't a feud anymore. It feels like the monarchy finally woke up, stretched its arms, and said, enough. Because what's happening now? It's not petty, it's not dramatic. It's a reckoning years in the making. And the craziest part? Harry is finally realizing it.
In order to save the body. He's willing to even sacrifice the titles of his children in order to clean the Windsor house, because enough is enough. And Harry and Meghan know it, and they're absolutely panicking because there's nothing they can do.
Quite reasonably stripping Harry of his title, and perhaps down the track, Charlotte and Louis's children not having titles either. Because
Can reveal Prince William has in the past fortnight seized control of the British monarchy from a weak and dying King Charles, and that spells very bad news for Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie, and Lily.
They say the crown never forgets, and right now, it's remembering every insult, every interview, every Netflix dig Harry and Meghan ever made. This isn't just a feud anymore, it's a reckoning. Somewhere thousands of feet above the ocean, while the rest of the world sleeps, a prince who once swore he'd never bow to the crown again is racing right back toward it, heart-thumping, palms sweaty, refreshing his phone like a man praying for a miracle. But there's no miracle coming, no comforting message, no reassurance. He isn't flying home for family anymore. He's flying home because everything he thought he outsmarted is crashing right behind him.
Beautiful people. Isn't it something? Harry and Meghan panicking over Prince William's latest.
There's panic in the clouds tonight. Somewhere over the ocean, a prince who once swore he'd never bow to the crown again is hurtling straight back toward it, sweating, pacing, probably refreshing his phone every 30 seconds, waiting for a message that will never come. Prince Harry isn't flying home for family. He's flying home for survival. Reports say when he boarded that jet in California, he wasn't calm or collected, he was in a frenzy. Eyes tired, jaw clenched, snapping orders at aides who couldn't fix the one thing that's now slipping from his hands, his royal identity. The Duke of the Sussex title that once made Hollywood kneel is hanging by a thread. And the person holding the scissors? His own brother.
Siri.
Well, there was once upon a time when we thought no royal would be able to be stripped of their title, and look what's happened over the last couple of weeks, and you're right, will this impact Harry and Meghan?
Reports say he boarded that jet in California in a frenzy. Eyes red, jaw tight, barking orders to aides who couldn't fix what he's finally broken. His royal identity, the Duke of Sussex title that gave him weight, power, and purpose is dangling by a thread. And the scissors are in the firm, steady hands of his brother. For years, Harry thought he'd escaped the monarchy. He really believed he'd outplayed a 1,000-year-old institution with a podcast, mic, and documentary, Trauma Dumps. But the monarchy doesn't crumble when you walk away. It regenerates. And while he was healing in Montecito, the palace was healing without him.
Are they going to learn a new trade? What are they going to do? Meghan can go back to yachting. She's too old.
For years, Prince Harry thought he'd outsmarted the monarchy. He pictured himself as the rebel who broke free, the one who escaped the man system. But what he didn't realize was that the monarchy doesn't crumble when you walk away. It regenerates, it evolves. And while he was giving podcasts about healing, the palace was quietly healing without him. Meanwhile, William, the brother Harry once mocked as trapped, has stepped into a silent power so strong, even insiders whisper he's not the future king. He's already running things. Every move he makes is surgical, deliberate, terrifyingly calm. He doesn't leak. He doesn't rant. He doesn't pose for sympathy. He watches. He waits. And when he strikes, it's cold, clean, final.
Too much of an idiot. They have no skills, no talent. They're not interesting. What are they going to do? And William doesn't want them back. Nobody wants them.
William, the brother he once mocked as trapped, the man Harry pied, has now become the monarch in waiting, commanding more respect, stability, and quiet power than ever before. Every move he makes feels deliberate, almost surgical. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't play to cameras, doesn't leak stories to Netflix producers. He just watches and waits because that's how kings are made, not born. The irony is brutal. Harry spent years spilling secrets, interviews, memoirs, sob stories, turning his entire life into a global soap opera. Meanwhile, William mastered the oldest royal tactic, silence. And that silence became his greatest weapon. The irony is exquisite. Harry, who couldn't wait to spill secrets, has spent the last few years turning his life into a soap opera. Meanwhile, William learned the oldest royal rule. Silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. Every tantrum, Harry. Through every Oprah soba story, every staged photo in Montecito, it all became William's PR campaign without him having to lift a finger. Then came the whispers. Not dramatic, not emotional, cold, official. Senior courtiers allegedly stopped referring to Harry as a royal. Instead, they used a term so brutal, so final, Harry wouldn't survive hearing it. Former asset. That's palace language for someone who no longer matters. Someone erased. His presence at royal events? Removed. His influence? Gone. His security privileges? Slashed. The Sussex era isn't being reviewed, it's being deleted. Because this monarchy has gone corporate, efficient, polished, ruthless, and Harry's emotional chaos doesn't fit the new brand. His downfall didn't need plotting. He did the job himself. Every interview, every dramatic revelation turned him into the exact thing the crown could never endorse. Unstable, unreliable, unpredictable. William sees it clearly, and he's acting quietly. The Queen may have worn the crown for decades. Charles may wear it now. But the hands steering its future belong to William. The shift isn't coming. It already happened. Slowly, quietly, fatally, Harry stayed in California, searching for inner peace while William was building real power, the kind that doesn't trend on TikTok but lasts for centuries. And then came the photo, the disaster. When William was ordered to stand beside Prince Andrew, the monarchy's most radioactive figure, the image went viral. The public was disgusted. The future king standing next to a man drowning in scandal? For William, who rebuilt the monarchy's credibility brick by brick, that moment wasn't a mistake. It was betrayal. He didn't shout, didn't slam doors. Insiders say he went silent, icy silent. And in that silence, William snapped. He vowed no more scandals, no more dead weight, no more mercy, and right there next to Andrew on the palace's liabilities list, Harry. Because to William, Andrew damaged the past, but Harry endangers the future. And that is unforgivable. From there, the cleansing strategy began. Quiet removals, strategic edits, reputation surgery. Every Netflix rant, every Oprah moment, every Montecito photo shoot was added to a file growing thicker by the day. And then the polls hit. Numbers cold enough to freeze Buckingham Palace. 47% of Britons said Meghan was a bigger threat to the monarchy than Prince Andrew. A duchess defeating a man involved in one of the darkest royal scandals ever? That statistic hit like an explosion. Even palace staff were stunned. Meghan wasn't seen as misunderstood anymore. She was seen as dangerous, opportunistic, a brand wrapped in royal paper, and William now had the ammunition he needed. He had public approval. He had Parliament's interest. And then Meghan stepped back onto social media. Soft glam lighting, glossy portraits, subtle product placement. The world instantly smelled a rebrand. A beauty line, a new empire, but packaged with the title she refused to let go. Photos, products, poses, all laced with royal undertones. Hollywood saw ambition. The palace saw blasphemy. Because Meghan wasn't just selling lipsticks, she was selling the crown. And that was the final straw. To William, this wasn't entrepreneurship, it was humiliation for the institution, for the legacy, for everything the monarchy stands for. Meghan was commercializing royalty like it was a handbag. And the late Queen had made it clear, royal titles are symbols of duty, not business strategies. So William moved from silent fury to strategy. He let Parliament pick up the sword. The Royal Titles Reform Act began whispering through the halls, a law that would give the crown the power to strip royal titles permanently. No appeals, no loopholes. Once signed, done. And the first test subject was Andrew. If Parliament could remove Andrew's princely status, then removing Harry's Duke of Sussex title would be effortless. Inside Montecito, panic erupted. Harry rushed back to London, convinced he could fix things, that he could reason, that Charles would intervene. But Charles was ill, weak, tired, and William, he wasn't waiting for apologies. He was writing the future. Harry's emergency flight should have made headlines, but the palace said nothing. No statements, no welcome, no acknowledgement. Harry returned home to silence the sound of being erased. Behind the scenes, mentions of Harry and Meghan vanished from official Documents, photos removed, titles quietly shifted, updates written in past tense, a digital ghosting so clean the public barely noticed. Harry is walking into London thinking he's saving his titles, but he doesn't see the truth. The decision is already made. This isn't a feud now, it's state business. Once the act passes, the monarchy will have the legal power to remove titles from anyone who endangers its dignity. And the list starts with Andrew, ends with the Sussexes. Harry always thought exile was his fear, but now he's discovering something worse, irrelevance. He tried to escape the crown, but now the crown is escaping him. And once the monarchy stops including you, your story ends. This is the final chapter Harry never saw coming. And while Harry sits on that flight rehearsing what he might say to fix things, what he doesn't realize is that there may not be anything left to fix. The monarchy he walked away from has already evolved into something sleeker, tighter, and far less forgiving. The crown he once took for granted has learned to function without him. And perhaps the most painful truth of all, it's functioning better. People close to the palace whisper that Harry still believes an apology or an emotional heart-to-heart could stop the storm that's coming, but he has underestimated one thing: William's resolve. His brother has spent years watching the monarchy take punches for scandals he never caused. He watched the institution drown under Andrew's disgrace. He watched sympathy evaporate every time Meghan launched a new grievance. And in William's mind, this isn't personal, it's necessary. The monarchy's survival depends on cutting off the very branches that keep setting it on fire. Harry may be terrified of losing his title, but William is terrified of losing the monarchy itself, and the tension is rising fast. Insiders say that the palace and parliament are moving in a rhythm now, one William controls without ever raising his voice. The Royal Titles Reform Act went from rumor to whispered certainty. The legal groundwork is there, the political climate is ready, and the public has already chosen sides. All it takes now is timing, a signature, a single announcement. After that, everything changes. Meanwhile, in Montecito, Meghan reportedly feels blindsided. She didn't expect the polls to betray her. She didn't expect her beauty launch to be seen as a royal provocation. She didn't expect the institution she spent years criticizing to turn around and remove every remaining trace of her status without blinking. She's building a brand, and the palace is dismantling the foundation it stands on at the exact same time. The children's titles, which once felt untouchable, are now hanging in the balance. Without royal styling, without prince and princess status, their future becomes ordinary. Their lineage becomes a footnote. And Meghan knows that losing those titles doesn't just hurt politically, it hurts commercially. In Hollywood, a title is leverage. It means prestige. Once it's gone, so is the premium. And for Harry, that's the breaking point. He isn't just fighting for symbolism, he's fighting for his family's entire identity. But the cruelest part is that the palace no longer sees him as part of that identity. They've already moved on. The monarchy is preparing for the next era, the next reign, the next chapter. And in that new world, Harry is no longer a central character. He's a cautionary tale. He wanted freedom, he wanted distance. He wanted his own story. But what he never understood is that the crown writes the final draft. And now, as the walls close in, he's discovering the one truth every royal learns too late. You don't leave the monarchy leaves you.